things are not looking good for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. At least on the critics side, we don't know how the audience is going to react. I'll say this, I'm going to predict it. The audience score will be around 80%, while the critic score, I think, will be a solid 60%. I think it'll be like 55, 60, somewhere in between there. That's my prediction. So take that to the bank if y'all want to. But before I started this video, this was actually at red, the tomato. So usually to know if it's reviewed well, it's going to be on a red tomato. If it's poorly reviewed, it's in green. Now, this is still not a bad score. This still means more critics liked it than didn't like it. One of the issues I have with movie fandom is a lot of people don't actually know how Rotten Tomatoes works. Rotten Tomatoes is not an organization. It's not like a council of people who are like, oh, we're going to decide what the score of this movie is randomly. Yay! It's not like, oh, you get to give it a 58%. No, what it is it's multiple critics that are from different, groups. Some people work for like IGN. Some people work for this company, that company. I've actually personally have talked to critics. And some critics are in specific things. Like some critics specifically review animated movies. Some specifically review comic book movies. Some specifically review even kids movie. I remember there's this, I can't remember what her name was, but I remember she was getting a lot of harassment because she said she didn't like the Batman because it wasn't kid friendly. I had actually gone into contact, made a video defending her. She's pretty cool. And she was more saying that her profession is based on having to review more family-friendly movies. Like her career revolves around that, right? And it was interesting because I never really thought of that. Because to me, all film is subjective. If you like a movie or not, yeah, that's just what it is. You're not wrong if you like a movie. You're not wrong if you don't like a movie. At the end of the day, it's all subjective. I guarantee you, some of us here, some of you guys watching this video are going to like this movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Some of you are not, and that's okay. But the problem with film fandom right now is we like to cry and complain when people have different perspectives than us. You have to realize that in the real world, everyone's going to have a different opinion than you. And in movie fandom, I feel like one thing that unites us is how unique we are. Because at the end of the day, we like movies for different reasons. Some people love action movies. Some people like Western movies. Some people like comedies, dramas, whatever, and that's okay. At the end of the day, this is just movie. Let's have fun with it. Like, y'all gotta like smoke a blunt, chill out, man. Like, calm down, relax, man. Get yourself some whiskey, man. Let's all just chillax. Like, that's how I see it. But it's at 58%. This is not good. To Marvel standards, this is a very poor review. Because Marvel is used to the red tomato. They're used to getting 70, 80%. And by the way, this doesn't mean a movie is better or worse. Because I'll say this right now. I think this movie is going to be better than Love and Thunder. I did not like Love and Thunder. But again, the reason why the score is not because this movie is better than one movie. It just means that these specific reviewers just happen to think this way, and it just bundled up and made a giant percentage, right? So these 95 reviewers, some of them probably didn't even review Thor: Love and Thunder. And that's the thing that people need to pay attention. Although Rotten Tomato scores to me still are important, they don't define your perspective, but that's not the job of a critic. The job of a critic is to just tell you what their perspective is and allow you to decide whether or not you're going to watch a movie. That's why, to me, I think the review embargo is because this review embargo just now lifted it on a Tuesday, 2 days before the movie. That's why I think review embargoes need to be lifted at least a week prior. I think it should legally be made a week prior because I think the movie consumers deserve to see reviews. They deserve to know whether or not the people that went to watch this movie even like the movie. I think that's what the consumer deserves right now. And I think it's bullshit that we had to wait 2 days before the movie came out, right? But let's actually read some reviews. Of course, this is not a good number for Marvel. Still a good number. This still means most critics liked it. Of course, 5.990 out of 10 average rating. All critics, top critics. So it's not that different. With top critics, 14 gave it a fresh, 13 gave it rotten. But even here, you can still tell. One thing that does make me nervous is that a lot of them aren't giving, even the good reviews are not giving it this high praise, which I don't think anyone really expected, even from the trailers. No one expected this to be this like cinematic masterpiece. I think people were expecting a fun Ant-Man film that introduces the future of Phase 5, but let's actually read some of the reviews. Rachel Leishman from the Mary Sue. And look, notice how they're different companies, right? Different companies. The Only Critic Movie Blog. This is something people need to pay attention to. Stop being like, Rotten Tomatoes are a bunch of shills. They don't work for Rotten Tomatoes. They just happen to get the access where they can review it on Rotten Tomatoes, right? But it is what it is. And notice how some are top critics, some are not top critics. Like there's a difference. Like, come on, guys, be mature. Stop being weenies. But Quantumania as a whole is a solid third movie on Scott's franchise and a nod to relationships and science, and brings us a fresh take on his daughter, Cassie Lang. All right, that's pretty solid. It's nice to hear a one review that doesn't just talk about Kang, because I feel like all the good reviews are talking about Kang. 4 out of 5. This is what the person gave it. Solid review. And then it says here, Emmanuel Noist from the movie blog says, if it weren't for Jonathan Majors' performance as Kang, this movie would completely fail. Doesn't sound, even this review is 6.5 out of 10. That doesn't sound like a solid. It sounds like he still enjoyed it, just that it was almost like barely. But now let's read some poor reviews. I'm going to read a mixture of both. So yeah, Nate Adams, the only critic. Well, obviously he's not the only critic. I'm just kidding. The humor is inconsistent. The visuals, while weird and partially engaging, are ugly. And if not for Paul Rudd's amicable charm and the 1-2 punch of Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, the MCU would be in desperate need for some oxygen. Wow. What a chore this so-called entertainment is. God damn, this guy did not hold back. And by the way, y'all should go read their full reviews. Reading full reviews are always interesting. Just that right now, I only want to get a gist of it. Because, of course, I want to read multiple. I don't want to just read one or two, right? Linda Merrick says, top critic right here, Peyton Reed and screenwriter Jeff Loveness seem to have gone the tone just right this time around. 4 out of 5. That's a pretty good review. As a movie properly foists Kang the Conqueror onto the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania succeeds and then some. As a movie for Ant-Man, the Wasp, and their family size-changing heroes, it's only just fine. That is one thing that also makes me nervous. It seems like a lot of people are saying that this movie is more of a setup towards the future of Phase 5, and that Kang is really the major standout, while the Ant-Man part of it doesn't feel like a good third film to a trilogy for the Ant-Man character. And one thing I'm noticing is, even from the people who loved both Ant-Man movies, which I love the first Ant-Man movie, I loved the second one, I had fun with it, not as good as the first one, but one thing I'm noticing is that the people that like the Ant-Man movies seem to be very concerned about the movie, or not seem to be concerned, but the ones who have seen it, like Jeremy Johns and Chris from 3C Films, both of them, which are great, phenomenal critics on YouTube. I really love their channels, especially 3C Films. You guys know I love Chris Parker. They were both talking about how the movie doesn't really feel like it doesn't feel like a Ant-Man movie, and it's so different from the previous Ant-Man movies that it kind of forgets that it's an Ant-Man film. And that was very interesting. That was a very interesting, and it seems like a lot of people are saying that review. Also, sorry if I'm looking to my right now. PSG and Bayern Munich are playing in the UEFA Champions League. By the time I release this video, more than likely you guys know who had won. But let's read Lee McCoy from Drum Dumbs. The Quantumania starts Phase 5 off with a mixed bag, sporting a tour de force villain in Kang, who is smoothed by a VFX mess, a sluggish plot, and way too many painfully weird characters. Yeah, I'm noticing that the movie is supposed to have weird types of characters. But anyways, another review, Leo Brady says, Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania hits right in the center of recent Marvel content. It's adventurous and energetic. Pretty solid review. Robbie Colin, this one's a 2.5, so I want to read this. Another 2-hour blast from Marvel's inexcusable, multicolored CG gung-hos. Nick Shager, and we're only going to read 3 more reviews, and that's it. Just as readers will likely get lost in its gobbledygook subtitle, so too does Rudd, who gets swallowed up by the consuming CGI insanity of his latest comic book extravaganza. Then Shidha, I don't even feel like reading that. Viewers old enough to understand even rudimentary narratives deserve better than the handful scattered laughs and great deal of visual unpleasantness. Dang. Alright, we're going to read one more good review and one more bad review. And I'm going to read them from... Oh, Austin Burke already? Okay, I know this guy. Alright, we'll read one from a top critic, 2 top critics. 1 negative, one positive. Okay, AA Dowd says, Quantumania is proof, if we still needed it, that bigger isn't always better. And growing to typical Marvel size, it shrinks away the fun. Oh. So this guy doesn't even think the movie is fun. That's the one thing I'm expecting from this movie. That I at least have fun. Like with Thor Love and Thunder. I do not like Thor Love and Thunder. I've gone on record to say that I didn't like the movie, even though I hyped it up and I was very excited for it based on the trailers. There's things I like about it. But one thing I'll admit is that the movie was fun to an extent. Like, there was moments where I had fun, I was enjoying, I was eating popcorn, drinking soda, just having fun with the movie. Although overall, I just didn't like the movie. It wasn't a good time in the theaters that day. But the one thing I'm expecting from Ant-Man and the Wasp, maybe it's not going to be a good movie. Maybe it's not going to be great. I don't know. I won't see the movie till Thursday. So if you want to catch my review, make sure you're subscribed, notification bell, smash the like button, do whatever it is you got to do. Help the channel grow. And I'm going to be uploading on Thursday, somewhere later in the night. I live in Central Standard Time. I'm going to go watch it like at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So expect a review by like 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I don't know what your time zone is. But I'm at least expecting it to be fun. That's the thing I'm expecting. The thing that most excites me is Kang, because I want to see what is Jonathan Majors' Kang. If you guys are familiar with the comics, Kang is a very interesting character. He's very complex. There's so much to Kang and his lore that I do wonder if they're going to be able to put that on the big screen. And that we know this isn't going to be his only movie. Of course, there's literally a movie called Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. And of course, Secret Wars. So we know this isn't his only time. But all right, Randy Meeks, top critic, give it a 4 out of 5, says Quantumania is colorful, original, and different, and corrects the mistakes that Marvel has made during the 3 years in experimentation. Whoa. So yeah, it's not from what I'm getting from the reviews, it seems like what it's gonna be is it's gonna be a good movie, at least to most people, the general audiences. It's gonna be a good, entertaining time. But based on the review, it feels like the movie focuses more on the future of Marvel and building out Phase 5 so that when we get to Kang Dynasty, that's what it feels. It doesn't feel like it's going to be a good Ant-Man movie, but it feels like it's going to be a good adventure quantum realm type movie, if you know what I mean. That's kind of what I'm getting based on the reviews. That's just how I feel. But anyways, am I worried? Yeah, I'm worried a bit, but you know what? The trailers I thought were really good. I'm still excited for this movie. I'm going to give you guys my honest thoughts. Like I say every day, do not just let reviews define your mind. Go watch a movie. Although I will say you should respect critics. You should respect anyone who gives you their perspective on a film. Just respect it. Again, the job of a critic is to recommend you a movie, not to tell you a movie is good or bad, right? These people are just telling their opinion. But I know I've already seen Twitter. I'm seeing people being like, oh, the downfall of Marvel, yay. It's like you either get two things. You either get people who really are cheering, being like, yeah, Marvel is going down. And then you got other people being like, Rotten Tomatoes is rigged. They don't actually, no one pay attention to them. They don't matter. It's like, bro, just shut the fuck up. Just let people do their job, man. Right? But anyways, you guys let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about this? Do you agree, disagree? Are you excited for the movie? Are you not? Do these reviews get you concerned or maybe even hyped to an extent? Whatever it is, let us know in the comment section down below. I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao.
Where do you go? Where do you go to? I wanna know. How do you do it? That thing you do. Follow you blindly, I'll be your fool. Cinderella, I think I'll find your glass now.